Sidebar Cantina, the podcast where we talk about Star Wars, pop culture, popular 80s songs, or whatever the fuck we feel like talking about. I'm Mr. Jason Roscom, with me here each and every single week, the Go-Go's vacation to my Madonna's holiday. Dave Martin. Hello, Dave.
Hello, Jason.
How are you?
I'm here. I am refreshed somewhat.
Yeah.
Other than the post-vacation hangover. Yeah, ready to do this.
All right. Yeah, we've got a lot to catch up on. We've been gone for 2 weeks, as we warned everybody, because we had vacation. It's all we ever wanted. Right. And we both got away, both had a good time, and we're back. And what are we talking about today, Dave?
Well, while we were gone, right? Ish. Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe was released on Paramount Plus. Yes. So we did Beavis and Butthead Do America, and so now we did a Mike Judge kind of lead-in month-ish, and so now we're culminating it with this Beavis and Butthead Do America, the critically acclaimed Beavis and Butthead Do America.
The universe.
You
said America twice.
America. Because it was just 4th of July weekend.
Yeah, we're still on that 4th of July hangover. So
that's right.
Yeah, it's we got a lot to get into. We don't have a this or that this week, but I hear you'd like to make a toast. Is that how we're doing this?
I would.
So let's do this. I've got my H2O.
Yeah,
high quality H2O.
I want you to raise your glass. I'm going to raise my glass as well. And everyone who's out there, if you have one, I would ask you to do so. While we were on vacation, while I was away, my family lost one of the most special people ever to grace our presence in my grandmother. She passed away this past Thursday at the age of 98. She was an amazing woman, a World War II veteran. She was one of the very few that was an enlisted female in World War II. And she was a trailblazer, smart as a whip, and just an amazing lady. And the world will miss her and her presence, but it was a great time, and I'm glad to have had her in my life. So cheers to her.
Cheers to her.
I'm cheersing with a little Jameson straight from the motherland as well.
Oh, nice. I'm sure I've talked about it before on the show, but our mutual friend, the John, got me drinking Jameson straight for a while. Just Jameson on the rocks. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're doing right now?
Whew, man. I am indeed. Well, because listen, whiskey is something that's not meant to be like, people drink Jameson like, it's, trust me, I've drank Jameson, and it can, if you're drinking it just to drink, then the fight music can start playing in the background and then bad things happen. Right. But if you're just, putting it over ice and just sipping it to enjoy it, like any other alcohol and everything in moderation, it can be delicious. And you just have to enjoy it. And, you get the good stuff. Like this is not the cheap shit that you're going to get, off the bottom shelf. You get the good stuff and you get it to enjoy it. So
absolutely. So that's a great lead into our Patreon, maybe. Has nothing to do with our Patreon, but still.
Oh, well, fair enough.
If you're enjoying the Sidebar Cantina's content, consider becoming one of our Patreon supporters. For as little as $1 a month, you can support this podcast and help make it possible for us to continue to bring you quality content week after week of Dave making all the noise in the world.
I'm pulling a Brady.
We'd like to give a huge shout out to our current patrons, Shotgun Mark, who just celebrated his birthday yesterday. So happy belated birthday, our friend. Frank Kalevich, Frederick Martin, Lord Helmet Fire, Scott and Kim from the Use and Abuse podcast, Ivo G, Kristen Roscom, Nick from Swede Studios, Catherine Rennick, my wonderful mother-in-law, Patricia Goodstein, Don Solsky, Nicholas Schaefer, David Schmuck, Wally Frogmore, Tony Ferrari, the before-mentioned Brady Biglovin, and Dragon Buddy. We appreciate each and every one of you. If you'd like to consider becoming a supporter, you can find us at patreon.com/thesidebarcantina. Thank you again to all of our listeners and supporters. You are the reason why we do this. Whoops.
Yep, see?
I did it again. God damn it.
Well, it's this fucking remote bit.
I know. Oh, well, we'll get into why we're remote here in a minute, but you got any Red 5 stuff to talk about?
No, but I'm going to mention that today is Helmet Fire's birthday, apparently.
Oh, wow, everybody's having birthdays.
Which I didn't know. I'm looking over here for the fucking camera.
Oh, I forgot to mention too. My Catherine Rennick, who is also one of our Patreon supporters, also had a birthday yesterday. So her and Shock and Mark, 2 of our Patreon supporters, had a birthday yesterday.
3. Well, yesterday, and then today is Helmet Fire's birthday.
Sweet.
So lots of July birthdays. So
Indeed.
what the hell was happening in
July 7th?
February?
Are you a fucking moron? What the fuck? Sammy?
October? I don't know.
Christ.
Math is hard. I was told there'd be no math.
Yeah. So 7 minus 3, October. So yeah, it starts getting cold, you know. Gotta snuggle under the blankets.
Little Oktoberfest celebration, maybe.
So
anyway,
I'm being told you have lots of Red 5 stuff to get to.
Yeah, I was distracted because I was trying to type something in the chat. As per usual.
Did you find it?
We are less than 2 weeks away from ScarifCon 2022.
That's right.
Cue the celebration music.
I don't have it on the mixer.
94.
That, Jason, write a note right now. Get that shit. Get that shit.
I know.
Yellow cake.
Don't drop that shit.
Red 5 Network would absolutely love for you to join the Red 5 family at Murray's Caddyshack on Saturday, the 23rd in Chicago. But if you can't, they're going to be streaming from the event live. Luna Girl will be posting up the socials with links and times, as well as modding the live chats. Pop in and show your support. Hopefully there will be some of the local talent, as well as all of the Red 5 Network favorites will be there, including others.
Did you lose your place?
I did. I lost my place. I touched the touchpad and it went because there's a whole bunch of notes for the end of the show.
Yeah.
And then so pop in and show your support.
All right, fair enough. Any updates on the JWS?
Nope.
Fuck. All right.
We'll begin momentarily.
All right.
That's what I got.
All right.
Well, we didn't mention that at the top of the show. We are so at 5 initially, then at 5:30, the White House being as prompt as it always is.
Mm-hmm. It's the government.
Yeah, the White House is supposed to, and the president is supposed to be unveiling imagery from the James Webb Space Telescope, because they've been getting us so ready for it to be fucking tomorrow. Then we're all fucking hyped up for, and then no, fuck you. We're going to preemptively show some imagery today because we can. So here it is. We're still waiting on NASA live stream for them to fucking start their show.
Yeah.
So yeah, if I'm more distracted than usual, it's because I'm splitting my time trying to watch whatever's going to happen there, and we're going to stop whatever it is that we're doing. Just stop. Just like
Yes.
I did.
Yes.
Truncated silence. Just immediately stop.
And
And then we'll discuss what the most incredible piece of technology that we've probably ever put into space, next to the International Space Station, is going to show us.
yeah. Now, is it just me, or does it feel kind of wrong that it's Biden who's going to be the guy to be like, hey, look at this, when it should be somebody like fucking Bill Clinton or George W. Bush or somebody of the guys that were like, actually funding the shit when
you know what,
when
to the
they were
victor go the spoils, right? You know, it's kind of like if you're familiar at all with the Apollo program and how it started and what it ended up turning into, like, you know, it doesn't. Does it matter who gets to reveal it or the fact that it's actually happened?
I don't know if they got the budget for it, like under say Clinton or Bush. If I was that president, I'd be the guy that wants to get up there and be like, "Look, remember that thing I did years and years ago that I funded and initially got off the ground? Here it
Clinton's
is."
a has-been at this point. You know how it is.
All right, well, that's just me. That's just how I feel. What the fuck?
I'm fucking starving.
What are you eating? Oh, trail mix. Okay. It's good stuff.
Costco trail mix.
All right. So are we ready to get into our weeks? At least until we get interrupted by the James Webb reveal. All right. So I will get us started. First of all, the reason why we are remote right now is because as soon as we got back from California, my oldest son, Robert, he started not feeling too hot. He's like, yeah, I don't feel that good. Next day after we got home, he took a COVID test and sure as shit, boom, positive. So in order to not spread it to the Martin household, we've decided to go remote. I am not sick at the moment, but I was in a small car with Robert for many, many days leading up to him starting to feel like crap. Also, the first day that he felt like crap, we all drove home from the airport when he was already feeling sick. So if I'm going to get it, then I'm going to get it. Like, I mean, we're still trying to keep him quarantined and everything else, but you know the way it is. But I mean, I'm vaccinated. I've had the virus at least once that we know of. It's very well detailed on the show. Go back and watch those episodes. So I'm not too concerned about my overall health, but I have a feeling if I'm not already, I'm going to be a carrier of this thing. So
yeah. And the Martin household appreciates the forethought into not on the 2-year anniversary of
right.
You giving of the Roscoms giving the Martin household, me in particular, the fucking COVID.
That's right. It's been exactly 2 years since we got COVID.
2 fucking years.
Wow, I forgot about that first week of July. Son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's right. It was on my mom's birthday that I found out. Oh, good stuff.
I appreciate that. I would just as soon not be sick. I mean, I was on vacation and all over the place overseas where nobody gave a shit about masks or anything else. So
yeah,
I'm just as easily bringing it back as anybody. But
the irony is I haven't worn a mask at all in the last couple of weeks until I got to work today when apparently the local county is high. So my work mandated that we all wear masks. So.
Yeah. Well, we live in the most populated county per square mile in the most populated state per square mile in the union. So
that's fair.
There's that.
Yep, indeed. So, all right. So, as we said, I went to California on vacation, went there for just a hair over a week, had a good time visiting with family, took my whole family there this time as opposed to last year when it was just me and Rob that went, and had a great visit. We were there for my mom's birthday, and the day after, which was the 4th of July, we had the big 4th of July celebration like we did last year. My mom and all her neighbors got the good fireworks from neighboring states. Massive fucking fireworks show. And then we also bought some personal fireworks for us. This was the first time my 2 youngest sons, Ben and Adam, got to experience the personal fireworks of California. They both loved it. It was a fucking really, really good time. It was also the first time I got to see my dad since he had his heart surgery. So I'm glad I got to spend some good time with him. He's recovering great, by the way. He's doing really, really well.
Excellent.
Yep. We spent a whole day at Universal Studios in Hollywood. That was also a good time. This is the first time I'd been to Universal Studios since like 97.
97.
94.
But yeah, I haven't been in well over 20 years, and a lot's changed. Obviously, there was still enough that was familiar with it to where I still kind of knew my way around. But man, they had some awesome rides. They have a ride based on the movie The Mummy. And this was the original Mummy with fucking Brandon Fraser and all that. But dude, that ride was fucking awesome. That was my favorite ride in the park by far. But they had a lot of cool rides. The only problem is so many of their rides are like motion rides, right? Like you get in the fucking seat and it's just like a video screen in front of you and a lot of fucking motion and all that. That's like a majority of their rides. And there was a point where I was starting to feel sick in the middle of the day because I was on so many fucking motion rides and everything. And like the Mummy ride isn't like an actual roller coaster. That was a nice relief from all of the fucking motion rides because like between all those other rides, man, I was feeling fucking nauseous. And they have this fucking Harry Potter ride there because, they got the whole Harry Potter land and everything now, which Kristen loved seeing. This one, it like fucking moves you around. It's still a motion ride, but your seat moves like fucking crazy to the point where you're almost upside down at some point and there's screens all around you and fucking animatronics. It's fucking a lot going on. I damn near puked on the fucking thing. And I don't get motion sick on rides. Like I never have in my entire life. So I don't know if it's like me getting old or these rides just getting more and more intense or what, but either way, oh yeah, they still have the little Springfield because they still have the Simpsons ride, which replaced the Back to the Future ride, motherfuckers. But yeah, they still have the whole Simpsons area. You can visit.
Well, I heard they were going to replace the Simpsons ride, though. Isn't that one of the things that they were going to replace it at some point? Because if I remember correctly, because we were there in I think 2013.
Mm-hmm. So it's been that little hop to California.
Yeah, and they were still building the whole Harry Potter experience, so we missed that being open. But the Simpsons ride and everything was there. Talk about potentially getting motion sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought I read something recently that they were going to get rid of the Simpsons ride and put something else in.
I wouldn't be surprised because now, especially since The Simpsons is owned by fucking Disney, as soon as that contract comes up, Disney's going to be like, yoink, that's ours.
Yeah.
Again. But yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's a fun little area of the park. I mean,
it is. It's really cool. They did a really good job recreating Springfield, and the ride is actually really fun. I really enjoyed the ride. Despite the fact that it replaced Back to the Future, which I will never forgive Universal for doing, but I digress. And while we were there, we had a celebrity spotting when we were doing the backlot tour.
So I saw that in the notes. So I was curious as to what that was about.
So it was actually pretty relevant too, because we were just recently talking about this person on the Obi-Wan Kenobi show. Actress Indira Varma, who played Tala in Obi-Wan, who also was the hot chick in Game of Thrones, was fucking just backstage, just walking like from her car to like one of the fucking sound stages, and like within spitting distance of our fucking backlot tour car. I'm just like, and Kristen looks over and she's like, So we're like, holy shit. So, and
we noted. Picture?
No, I didn't have my fucking phone up at the time. Got a shitload of pictures though, like throughout the day, but just didn't get a fucking picture when we like looked over and there she was, because the tour had just started. We just pulled out of the fucking parking area where the fucking tours were. We started to go down like in between some sound stages, and boom, there she was, like right between two buildings. And
they say what they were filming in there.
So they wouldn't say, because there's like some like fucking contract where they're not allowed to talk about anything that's currently in production, but we do know that she's in the next Mission Impossible movie, and somebody mentioned that they are still doing some work on the new Mission Impossible movie that's coming out next year there at Universal, so it was probably for that. But Kristen and I took note of the dress she was wearing. She was wearing this really fucking like lacy purple dress, like very nice looking thing. So we're like, okay, we got to remember, if she's wearing that fucking dress in Mission Impossible, then that's what she was doing that day.
But have you seen Mission Impossible movies?
No, haven't seen a single one.
Yeah, so now you're going to have to go see a Mission Impossible movie.
Well, we're just gonna have to cover them on the podcast.
That's fair. I put that in front of you that you're going to have to do it.
Yeah,
especially because it falls under the kind of the James Bond genre that you refuse to watch.
It's not that I
even though the Patreon's listeners. Which, by the way,
we got to add that to the schedule.
Yeah, that's
shit.
Damn it, we should have talked about that in our meeting.
I know.
Fucking staff meetings.
I blame Luna Girl. It's her fault for not bringing it up.
No, I blame you. It's never Luna Girl's fault. It's never Luna Girl or Kristen's fault. It's always going to be your fault, Jason.
I'm such a punching bag. You guys just
Yeah,
pick on me all the fucking time.
It's never my fault. Never.
All right. A couple other things for my week really quick. Before we went on vacation, I ensured that I would have some Black Series figures to talk about on the show. Okay. So, without further ado, I have 2 this week, which I should have just said I have 1 and then revealed another one next week. This way I don't have to go out.
You just have to buy another one.
I know. Oh, no.
Oh, no.
Anyway, so first of all, we talked about I got Darth Revan in one of the loose slots that I got.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I still have to have him in the packaging. So we got the original Darth Revan number 34 in the packaging. 34. Pristine condition, by the way. And I'm Beautiful. Like, well, can't have that version of Revan without having the Jedi Knight version of Revan as well.
Beautiful.
So got both Revans. You can't see anything. But yeah,
nice.
Both Revans. Darth Revan and Jedi Knight Revan.
Beautiful.
And now they are mine.
Excellent.
Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I saw you started to make some space to get the...
Yeah, I'd started to set some up on the next shelf and all that. I still have to do some rearranging, and the shit fell over while we were on vacation, so...
What, was there a fucking earthquake?
I have no idea. I came in here, and there was shit all over the floor. I'm like, what the fuck? I had them set up all nice, and... I don't know. Anyway, whilst we were out in Universal, they had like some big fucking like gift shop and everything, and they had a bunch of pops in there. So I figured, why not add something to the sacred Jedi pops and get Dave a gift at the same time. So while we were there, we happened to see this Make-A-Wish BB-8 figure. It was pretty cheap, $15, and I texted it to you, and you're like, get it. So there it is. Only problem is it did not do well in transportation back to New Jersey. You can see it's got some dings on the back of the box.
That's okay.
Yeah, so
it'll still display well.
It's not in pristine condition, but the front is still perfect. So
yeah, that's fine.
Make-A-Wish BB-8 is now part of your pop collection, Dave.
That is
your wish has come true.
So now we have the BB-8 and we have the Stormtrooper one, because I know I have the Stormtrooper one on this. Stormtrooper. You know, this fucking briefing will begin momentarily. It's almost fucking 1800 and it's still not fucking showing up.
They're working at the speed of government. What can you do? And then, he's going to get in there and he's going to talk for fucking 20 minutes. Half of it, nobody's going to understand what the fuck he's saying in the first place.
Regardless of all that, just fucking... You set up... It's going to be at this time, then just fucking do something at this time.
Do something!
Do something!
Oh, we need to add that drop to the fucking soundboard, too. Do something!
We do indeed. Anyway. Oh, are you done talking about Black Series?
I'm done talking about my week.
Oh, well, I want to mention before we get too far away from the Black Series. Mm-hmm. So, the fuck was that? In my quest to collect all things TIE Fighter, I had purchased a TIE Fighter off of eBay, or TIE Pilot off of eBay. And I'm pretty sure I might have put something on the Discord channel, because I know in the Discord channel, I created a Black Series specific channel, because if you go on a Discord, go on our Discord server, the Sidebar Cantina, there is a Sacred Pops channel. There is a, what is it called? The Bigger Blacker,
hang
on. What I call them? Oh, Big and Black for the Black Series, and then I Heart Legos, because I'm still on my Legos thing. Come on, I thought it was good.
Oh, it's funny.
Because it's Discord, so it's meant to be irreverent.
Right.
Anyway, so I went in there and I saw that, like, oh, I want to get another loose Black Series TIE Pilot. And the one I got was this one here. And what I want you to take note of,
This is
right?
okay. Yeah, this is a 6-inch Black Series, right?
This is a 6-inch Black Series,
Can't
right?
focus.
Can't focus on it.
Just shove it in there. Just
focus.
oh, there you go.
All right. So there's a bit of a glare, and now it doesn't want to focus. Oh, hello. I'm Jennifer Lopez in a TIE Pilot uniform. Okay. So you see the helmet? You see the helmet?
Yes.
You see the helmet, Jason? You see it?
I wasn't prepared for this.
You see the helmet?
Yes, I see the goddamn helmet.
Are you looking?
I'm looking.
So this TIE Pilot, that if what would have been smart is to compare it to a normal TIE Pilot, but the markings on the helmet, this TIE Pilot is the first TIE Pilot you see that Luke shoots down from the Millennium Falcon in the sequence in A New Hope. It's this because I have a screen grab from the movie.
Oh.
Like, it's literally, I have a screen grab, and it's this, like, because if you are looking and you're watching the movies, each TIE Pilot actually has, like, on the helmet in here, it actually has some, like, little nomenclature. And this one in particular had this triangular patch on the helmet itself. And that one, when you see, it's like you see the cockpit close up, and then Luke's don't get penisy, right? That's this TIE Pilot. And apparently this figure was part of one of the, you have that E&E set of the troopers. It's that, like,
oh yeah.
It was out of a set of those. So I don't know what else it came with, but I just, again, it goes to the brilliance of the Black Series, because, all right, you think you're just getting a TIE Pilot, but no, you're getting a TIE Pilot that's so specific to a particular scene that nobody would think about.
Yeah, the detail on these figures is just
it's so awesome. And I've been getting Lego figures too. Like, I don't know if you can see this minifig. But
is he missing an arm? Oh no, there it is.
No, it's there. It's there, Jason. He's a little minifig. Yeah, it's so I have a problem. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, we all do.
So yeah, you spoke of your vacation. I was also on vacation. Kathy and I went to Ireland. It was a dream vacation for her. It's something we've been planning for a long time.
Yeah. And
had been putting away for, and it was fucking amazing. It was absolutely amazing. We flew out overnight, and
sorry, did you hear that?
No.
Okay.
What was it?
No, I turned on the NASA live stream real quick.
Was it the music?
Music was playing. I'm like, whoops.
No, Lunar Girl said the music was super obnoxious.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we flew out overnight, landed, and basically we stayed in a castle in Dublin.
Nice.
Like in a northern section of Dublin, closer to the airport, and we rented a car. And Jason, I remember probably it had been about 2 decades ago was my first time to Ireland. Like, literally, it was in 2002. It was my first time to Ireland. And we had opportunity. We'd had a car, and I drove a little bit just to be able to say that I did it. And I thought I had a pretty good handle on driving over there. Like,
on the side of the road.
Yeah, I fucking did it. But I was when I was doing it then, I was hungover, and I was 20 years younger, and I was invincible.
Right.
So
you could do
everything. Everything was so fucking easy. So but I remember the roads being like super narrow and having to be fucking, worried. I remember being terrified because the roads were super narrow and trucks going by and shit like that. Well, add 20 years of mortality and fucking anxiety and everything else, and suddenly we're on these fucking roads, and holy shit. Like on a highway, it kind of it feels fine. Like you're on the wrong side of the fucking car. But you kind of just get used to it a little bit. But when you're on some fucking back road, no,
do we have?
No, there was a flash.
Oh,
and then when you're on some fucking back road, dude, I will tell you, there's this one fucking road. It said corkscrew ahead, and no lie, the fucking road. This is the sign. You ready? The sign said corkscrew ahead, and it was pictured like this, and the road did exactly that.
That's
It was
funny.
like hairpin turn this way, hairpin turn that way, hairpin turn this way, and it's narrow as fuck. And there was buses, fucking 2-story tour buses are coming down on the same fucking road, and it's just like I'm just white knuckling it the whole fucking time. There wasn't a single fucking moment that I didn't have to fucking concentrate on my drive.
Yeah.
It was never like I can relax now, because the moment I relaxed, I would start fucking drifting towards the center. Like, I'm gonna mentally center myself,
right?
And then be like, oh no, I'm fucking driving on the side. And poor Kathy in the passenger seat, I would use like the overgrowth on some of the walls. I would start hearing that hit the mirror. Yeah, and I'm like, okay, I'm too close. So I like start back to the other side. And yeah, it's funny. So yes, we did actually stay. So what we ended up doing was we were in Dublin, and we drove the first day we drove to the castle, then we took a cab in, and we did forced marching through fucking Dublin. We hit a bunch of stuff in Dublin until we couldn't go anymore. Went back to the castle, went to the hotel, ate, slept, woke up, drove cross country. Yeah, and ended up hitting a castle that was owned by a Martin, which was just randomly, right? We were just kind of driving, pulled off on one side, and there's one of these castles. And we go, and Kathy's like, oh my God. So we go in, and there's the big Martin crest is on the wall. I'm like, Kathy points at it. I'm like, that's fucking weird.
You like Leo in that meme?
Yeah, exactly. Spelled differently. And I mean, my lineage comes
spell Martin differently
with a Y. It was spelled with a Y.
Are they fucking retarded?
It's Europe.
Okay.
Normannic spelling. My lineage is up from Donegal. So Sean, if you that's up in where you're at, then that's like my paternal side is almost all from Donegal, and my maternal side is all from Belfast. So, but we didn't, we just went basically straight across from Dublin to the Cliffs of Moher, and then went from there, came back across, and then the next day we drove south to Cork to kiss the Blarney Stone, which I did. Kathy didn't. And what do I want to talk about? Oh, Tato's. I got a bag of Tato's. We've talked about the Conan O'Brien skit, right, with the Tato's?
Yes, because at first I had no idea what the fuck you were talking about, and you had to explain it to me.
And these are Tato's and Hunky Doors are both good. I mean, I bought a bag of both crisps, and I had with a sandwich, because rest stops in Ireland are fucking legit. Like when you're on a highway, you're like on the fucking M4 or whatever, and you're like you're tooling along, and you go off on a rest stop, like they're fucking legit. In fact, one of the rest stops was a Barack Obama fucking rest stop.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, apparently, like, so we were coming back from the cliffs, and there's like, okay, I got to take a piss or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I pull off, and this fucking rest stop, we're pulling up to it, and there's like Barack Obama shit all over the place. Like, what the fuck? And so we pull in, and I guess his ancestral, like, Irish lineage goes back to this one town. So they had this rest stop, and it's Barack and Michelle Obama all over the fucking place. On the benches, there's like Kathy and I have a selfie with the fucking Barack and Michelle Obama cutouts. They got pictures of like him with Air Force One and the helicopters, and like it's really fucking weird, and random. But so yeah, so we fucking went to the Barack Obama stop. It was very nice.
Mm-hmm.
But anytime you stop at one of these rest stops, like they're super fucking clean. Food's legit. Like even like, you know, gas station sandwich or whatever, you don't ever worry about it.
Right.
Like you don't worry about eating it. So if you guys haven't seen
What?
If you guys haven't seen Obama Hunter Point against, you should. I just have to look for it. Anyway, still no fucking White House briefing, by the way.
So we're over an hour late at this point.
Motherfuckers. Anyway, so go back, then head down to court, kiss the Blarney Stone, which was something that my grandparents had done. So I had to do it.
Oh, yeah.
And we had got there late. So we're traveling down there, and we pull off at a rest stop, and off in the distance there's a castle like on a hill. We're just like, do you see that out there? She's like, oh my God, wow, look how big that castle is. I'm like, let's go check it out. We got time. Right? So we go into town, and it's the Rock of Cashel. And there's this whole lineage. Apparently St. Patrick's kind of big over there, if you can imagine. There's just like this huge castle. And it's like one of those where, hey, we're going to do a movie about like, you know, we're going to do it like 14th, 15th century kind of castle-y looking thing. We need to film it somewhere. Where are we going to do it? Right here. That place. That's the spot.
Yeah.
And the fucking weather was perfect. It was blue fucking skies. You could see for miles. It was amazing. Nice. And it was a rest stop. I pulled off to take a piss. And there's just giant, huge, fucking beautiful castle. And when we got off and then take off, head down the road again, by the time we got to the Blarney Castle, it was almost closed. So all the crowds, you know how you like go to Great Adventure or whatever, and it's like at the end of the day and people are like leaving. Mm-hmm. So the lines are shorter for shit. So that's how the Blarney Stone was. Usually it'd be like, oh, from this spot, it's an hour to kiss the Blarney Stone. For us, we went right up, and going up into the castle, like, thank fucking God there was nobody there, because if I was in line in this tiny fucking spiral fucking staircase in this castle, right, with no air moving whatsoever, and basically staring at somebody else's ball sack, like I just would not have done well. So thankfully we got there later. I went up, hung upside down, have a really awkward picture of me fucking kissing the Blarney Stone, and but it was a cool fucking experience. Then from there, Kathy wanted to see a stone circle, like a Stonehenge type stone circle. So there was one about 90 minutes away from where we were with the Blarney. And you know, if you're thinking, isn't it going to get dark soon? No, it's not, because remember, this is Ireland. It's pretty far north. It's like, you know, up around 53 degrees. Yeah. So even at 11 o'clock at night, it was still pretty fucking light out. So we weren't worried about that at all. So we drive down, park. There's this like hippie German couple that Kathy asks like, "Oh, hey, do you know where the thing is?" And they're like, like, so, like, said some stuff to her that she had no fucking. She's like, "I got nothing." I'm like, "There's a path. We'll just follow the path." We walk up around this path, and it kind of opens up, and there's this like fucking just ridiculous view in front of us. It's this, the atypical Irish countryside, with the little white houses. There's cows everywhere making all kinds of fucking racket. And you could see into the ocean. You could see like cliffs going into the ocean, and it's just fucking super majestic and amazing. And this circle, it was something that's there. They estimated from between 800 to 1000 BC, right? Is when this thing was put in there.
Damn.
And so they had the circle, and then they had remnants of an actual hut, like a kitchen that was attached to the hut, and then like the hut itself, and it had like the floor basically of the hut was there. And it was, you're 800 BC, like Jesus Christ, that just like the idea of something so long ago. And so Kathy had said, you know what, let's just sit here and just sit here for a minute and just take this in. Let's just take this in for a minute. And so we were sitting in this ruin of a druid hut from 800 BC for a good 2 minutes, just in silence, just kind of enjoying it, when the text came through that my Nana had passed away. And it was one of those things that was like the moment of it was just super, like, it was like we were kind of like, that moment in time was meant to be like right then. It wasn't like, hey, this we just got the signal or just gotten the text. No, it had just happened. Like while we were there in that silent moment, staying still, not driving, not anything else, just kind of being there in that moment. And it was it was just like very poignant. With the, a perfect half moon, above us, bright as shit. It was just like, whoa. It was just
in the middle of this like strangely, like, I don't know, like spiritual moment.
Yeah. And it's just, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, to have that.
Yeah, I guess
so.
If you're gonna get news like that, it's
yeah, for some, it was pretty amazing. Like everything in that day lined up to that moment, to be able to be staying still and to be able to like kind of have that moment to absorb it. So yeah, it's funny how shit sometimes somehow the universe sometimes just works itself out to to line up into those moments. So very, very, very cool. And then I had a fucking 4-hour drive back to the fucking hotel. But it was worth it. It was worth renting a car. It's on finally.
Now, how long until we actually get to see something?
I don't know.
Right now, I just see this lady just standing there.
Where's the closed captioning? I've got sign language. Okay, there we go.
Oh, is that what that lady is? She's
off
sign
to the
language
side
person.
Yeah, what do you think she's doing?
She's just standing there. Well, now she's signing, unless I'm a few seconds behind.
You're on a delay.
Ah, motherfucker.
All
right, let me refresh.
So,
shit. All right, so yeah, we're kind of doing a little bit of a shift here. We're reacting.
We're moving away from this, druid spiritual fucking moment in time in the universe.
Dave, do you want to share your screen and put it on so that people can follow along?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's share screen. We're going to share a window. Share that window. Share.
Of course, now everybody's got to get on there and they got to give their fucking spiels.
Yeah.
It's like make with the photos.
Whoever's running closed captioning is doing a piss poor job because we should be seeing the words right now.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have the sound turned up for at all?
I don't.
I should turn.
Oh, there you go. Looks like it caught up. So, all right. While these people are talking, anything else from your trip?
There's the only other funny part is so who's going to super the only other funny part is so we're in the airport, we go through the customs pre-clearance and all that, and Dave being Dave, we got to the airport super early.
Oh, I was given a lot of shit for that, by the way, during
Why?
my trip, for being so early. Like, especially my dad was giving me a bunch of shit for getting to the airport in Bakersfield early, even though it's a small airport.
No.
Still, it's like that's how I operate.
Nope.
I will never not be early for things, especially airports.
Yeah,
and
because it's fucking crazy shit happens, and you want to be fucking there to be able to adapt and adjust.
Exactly. Thank you.
And I've always been that way. So especially because when you're doing customs pre-clearance and all this other shit, like, so in Dublin you go through regular security and then you go through go through regular security, then you're kind of in this mall, or you could do your like shopping, get fucking cheap booze, duty free and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you go through the customs pre-clearance. Then once you go through that, you're just like stuck in that area. And the funny bit was, that takes time. Like you're basically going through security again. You have to take off your shoes again. You have to like go through the whole fucking bit. And so we get down there and we see where our gate assignment is, and we're about an hour early at that point for that. So we I look out at the gate, and it's well documented that I used to work at the airport, right? So I know things about how things move around.
Mm-hmm. A lot of behind the scenes.
Yeah. And I'm looking, and there's a Delta A330 on the gate that's obviously not going anywhere. Like the jetway's on it. It's got its one left door open. The cockpit windows are open. Like it's not barked. What? I don't know what he just said.
Oh, maybe he meant to say embarked.
Or it could just be like the person is typing it all real time.
Yeah. It doesn't help that the person speaking is also senile beyond his years, but
what happened?
It's a great place to pause where she's like,
wow. Yeah. I really wish I knew ASL. I really do.
Yeah.
So anyway, I look out there, and there's no fucking way that airplane's going to leave. So I'm like, okay. I sit there. I'm like, I'm not worried, because we are where we're supposed to be. Anything that happens at this point is on the airline. Like we're here. We're well ahead of schedule. So there's nothing that somebody could say, we're like, oh, this is on us. It's completely on the airline at this point.
Sure.
So the gate agents show up. They look out. They see this Delta airplane's on the gate. They're like confused. They're on the phone. They're calling people. They obviously don't know what the fuck's going on either. Right? But they're doubling down. They start setting up the gate like there's a fucking American Airlines plane there. And I'm looking, and I say to Kathy, I'm like, they're just going to pretend like there's an airplane there. And I'm like, okay. So we get moving along, and it's like, okay, we're about 15 minutes from boarding. Oh, what do we got?
All right, they just actually put an image up after all of the politicians had to get their words in. They're not showing us a good view of it. It's just the people in the fucking room can see it. I think the NASA guys are now giving their fucking spiels. So maybe someday they'll zoom in and like let the rest of us who are actually watching see the fucking image. Or not, you know, we can just keep sitting here like jackasses. Okay. All right. It's a little better. Were those all fucking galaxies in that image? Are each one of those specks of light a fucking galaxy?
Yeah.
Sorry for the little disjoining conversation here, but yeah, they quickly flashed an image up. They zoomed in for a second so we could see it at home, and then they zoomed out again. Just show us the fucking image.
Somebody, Bronco Fed had asked if it's on NASA Twitter yet, and apparently it is.
The image?
Yeah.
Okay. They zoomed in a little bit. Galaxies that are shining around other galaxies whose lives.
Oh, wow.
Can you put that up on the screen instead of this fucking creepy looking dude babbling?
Yeah, stand by.
Guy looks like a pedophile mixed with a serial killer. Ooh. Those are all galaxies. Those are early galaxies, right? Because we're looking back pretty far.
Look at the gravitational lensing.
Hmm. Crazy. I'm sure this image is going to be picked apart to death. Good stuff, though.
Wow. Jason has to pee. It's a good time for Jason to pee while I'm fucking staring mouth agape at a fucking.
I'm gonna have to do some tricky editing for the audio version of this, but all right, yeah, keep looking at the thing. We're gonna take a quick break and be right back after this word from NASA.
Wait, what just happened? Where'd my picture go? Damn it, Jason! What'd you do? You broke it. Let's try again. All right. So here's the picture. Here's what we're looking at. So the descriptor, since Jason's going to edit this out anyway, Um, Partnership with ESA and CSA will release full set of full color images data. Yeah, at 10:30 a.m. on Tuesday at the Goddard Space Center. We should just fucking drive down there. Honestly, I mean, not that it'd be any better to see it, but the first image in NASA station is the deepest and sharpest infrared image of the distant universe to date. This is Webb's first deep field image cluster, galaxy cluster SMACS 0723 is overflowing with detail. Thousands of galaxies, including the faintest objects ever observed in the infrared, have appeared in Webb's view for the first time. This slice of the vast universe covers a patch of sky approximately the size of a grain of sand held at arm's length by someone on the ground. That's why you need to watch the live show instead of the audio only version. I mean facts, but you know, it is a podcast, so we can't besmirch those who only download the audio version. But when some shit like this happens in the fucking real world, oh man, there's a lot going on in this fucking picture, man.
Ooh yeah. Oh. Ooh yeah. Oh. Ooh yeah. Oh.
I mean, the light from look at how deep red some of these things. I mean, that shit is going to be old.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's like the old stuff, right? Like early universe kind of stuff.
I mean, yeah, that is just absolutely breathtaking. It's breathtaking. There's no other word to describe it. I mean, you think about what Hubble's deep field was, right? And how just surprising it was that when it happened. Like, okay, we're going to look at this empty patch of sky and we're just going to leave the fucking aperture open for this amount of time and see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Webb is designed to fucking be looking as far as possible. And This is, all right, here's the first image of what we're going to look at. What is the next one's going to look like?
Yeah, because we're supposed to get like 5 or 6 images tomorrow, right?
I think so, yeah. I mean, look at some of these spiral galaxies, how perfectly formed that is. It doesn't seem real. It just doesn't seem real.
And again, think in that one little speck right there is an entire galaxy filled with probably 100,000 or 100 million billion stars.
Billion.
And each one of those stars has at least one planet around it, probably. Oh God, so much to dissect.
Oh, all right.
All right, are we ready to get back on track?
Yeah,
we can.
Beavis Butthead do the universe.
Yeah, I know, right? Fitting lead into that. So, right. If you're ready, do you need to pee or anything?
No, I'm good.
All right, give us a countdown, and we'll kind of like get back into the groove. And we're back. So, got a little sidetracked with the whole NASA reveal of the first James Webb Telescope image.
As we should be.
Yes, and I am sure we're going to talk more about this next episode once we have all of these first images out. So we'll counting sucks. So yeah, we'll talk more about James Webb next week, I am sure. Until then, Dave, I know you were kind of in the middle of an airport story. You want to wrap that up, or are we just going to move on?
Oh, anyway, here's how I'll finish that. So lessons learned are get to an airport early. I don't care what people say. Like I know, like you were talking about how your dad gave you a hard time, whatever.
Yeah, it wasn't just him, but a lot of people are giving me a hard time about
Yeah,
getting to the
and
airport
people
early.
will give me a hard time about it as well. Don't give a shit.
Mhm.
I will get to an airport early because what's the worst that's going to happen? You're going to hang out at the airport for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I mean, what were you doing all the way up until that point? They're like, oh, you're going to spend every last moment before you got there. Like the risk reward, like the horror stories you hear about people and their experiences on trips happen at the fucking airport.
Yeah.
So why not get there early to prevent something like that from happening?
And to just not have to stress it.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people who like they get there at the last fucking minute and they're stressing trying to like run to their fucking gate.
They're running, they're held up at security and they're fucking stressing, they're hollering at people trying to be like, oh well I my flight's about to leave and blah blah blah. Their names being called over fucking PA systems. Nope, not me. I get there on time unless I get rolled up by customs because my name's associated with a terrorist. That's neither here nor there. I can get there early so I don't have to, I can hopefully get ahead of that.
Yeah.
But no, get to the airport early.
Kristen, that was like 12 years ago. I'm going to need you to let that go, okay?
Hey, well, 5 hours, you can't check into an a flight more than 5 hours early anyway. So, that's the rules. You can't check into a flight more than 5 hours early. Those are rules.
Okay.
Are you going to argue with me on this?
No.
I know these things.
I'm not going to say a thing. All right. Can we move on to our main topic?
Anyway, no, not yet. Get to the airport early. Second thing is the gate agents, the crew that's flying the airplane, those people don't know what the fuck is going on. Right. So going to the gate agent and trying to get ascertain information from them, like especially for something like, hey, there's an airplane on the gate that doesn't belong there. They don't fucking know. Like where the airplane that's supposed to be there is, they don't know that. There is a dispatcher thousands of miles away that's controlling all of that.
Yeah. So
they're being told one thing. The crew dispatcher that has dispatched the crew, like on our situation, that crew, the entire crew was sitting there wondering what the fuck was going on. They didn't know. Like the pilot and the co-pilot just sitting there like, well, hopefully an airplane will show up. Right. Otherwise they got fucking, their duty day started for nothing. So like, just remember that there is not the people that are in front of you aren't the people that make those decisions. It is a dispatcher somewhere that's moving all those fucking chess pieces around.
Yeah, they talk to the customers so the dispatchers don't have to.
Right. So be nice to those fucking people. It does not pay at all to fucking be shitty to those people because when your flight cancels, like say, oh, I don't know, the plane that was supposed to be there never showed up, so they're going to have to get you on another flight. Like if you were shitty to them, do you think they're going to be like, you're the first person they're going to help going forward? No, they're not. They're going to be nice. They're the people that were nice to them. They're the people they're going to help first. That's just how it is. Yep. So it pays to fucking be nice to those people. That's it. Indeed. Just remember those things and you will do it.
And you will do it.
It. I could literally like we saw so much shit in Ireland, dude. I could spend an entire podcast just talking about it. But I digress.
We'll save that for another time. All right. Are we ready to get into Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe?
Yes.
All right. So yeah, released last month, June 23rd. We knew this was coming. We saw the trailer, I don't know, a month or two ago. And, I think you and I were kind of on the same page going into this. Low expectations.
Right.
We even mentioned this when we talked about Beavis and Butthead Do America. It's like, can this really work today? Can these characters and, Mike Judge's sense of humor translate into a a good movie today, and we now have our answer. And before we get into our own personal thoughts, not that we should give much of a shit about what critics think, because I think they've shown their true colors over the last several years. But on Rotten Tomatoes, Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe got a 96% with the critics and an 83% with the audience. So
that's pretty good.
That is pretty good. That's much higher than I would have expected. And by contrast, the new Thor movie that just came out this last weekend only got a 68 from the critics and an 81 from the audience. So scored better than Thor on both ends, as well as the new Jurassic World movie that came out a couple weeks ago. That had a 30 with critics and a 77 with the audience. So these last two big movies that came out in theaters scored substantially lower than Beavis and Butthead with both critics and moviegoers. So take that for what it's worth. Yeah,
it's fascinating. And is it the Paramount Plus release of all the Beavis and Butthead episodes, like, does that have something to do with the popularity of it? Like, oh, hey, is it a smart marketing push by saying, hey, look, not only are we going to give you this new product, but we're also going to give you the nostalgia of the old product for you to fucking build on?
Well, I think it's all part of that. It's because allegedly, if what else I've read is to be believed, they're also going to be relaunching a new Beavis and Butthead show very soon. So, you combine the new movie with the old episodes that are being re-released with the music videos, which they're on Paramount Plus now. I don't know if every single episode is out there, but they have started releasing them with the original music videos in them, because I was looking at some yesterday. And so we've got this big push on Paramount to get Beavis and Butthead out there, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to be following this up with a new show at some point. So, and it kind of makes sense based on the plot of what happens in the movie. It will lead logically into a new series, in my opinion anyway, but we'll get into that as we progress through the movie. So yeah, it was released on June 23rd alongside all of those old episodes. And it's only been in production since like February or early 2021, like January, because in February it was announced that they were working on it. And they also mentioned that all of the production meetings for this, because it happened fairly early in COVID, was all done over like Zoom meetings. And it just goes to show, how much do we really have to fucking be there in person to get a lot of work done? And that's a question that we've been asking ourselves a lot over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that was something I was thinking about too. Like,
this is not the hardest thing to put together. Like,
probably
when it comes to
not.
movies.
Yeah, but I mean, still. Well, but when it comes to movie production, I'm sure it's not fucking easy by any stretch. You've got, you got the music department, you got the animation department, you've got, fucking the heads at Paramount that you gotta, be constantly talking to. You got to be constantly talking, all kinds of meetings and shit. But they did it all remotely.
I really feel like this is probably one of those where it's like, okay, let's get some storyboards up. And all right, here's the storyboards. Where can we have, we have to have some music, because why Beavis and Butthead Do America was, I think, a lot of the popularity was because of the music.
Yeah.
So we need to make
really
sure
good musical segments.
Right. So we have to have some good musical segments in here. So where can we put those? And it's just, okay, where can we add some of our classic potty humor? Where can we insert this here, insert this there? And okay, let's just go with it. I really don't think from a planning perspective that it really took all that much. There's not a huge, you look at the IMDb for the cast, and there's not a bunch of huge big names in this.
No, which is weird, because as we were listening to all these voices, all these characters, I'm like, that's got to be somebody. Like the woman Serena, I'm like, that's got to be somebody. That voice sounds familiar.
It sounds like Demi Moore. When I was listening to it, I'm like, man, did they get it? Is that Demi Moore? Because it had that little raspiness to it.
Yeah.
I thought it might be Demi Moore or somebody. So
no,
I had to.
Yeah, I looked at it. She doesn't look familiar at all. I looked at her
No.
history, and she's
No, I looked up because initially, like the judge, that sentences them to space camp,
yeah,
sentences them to space camp. Like it's not their fault that they suck. It's our fault
right,
here in
right.
1998. Like that. Well, if people had realized that shit in 1998, the world would be a very, very different place than it is than it is right now. But
we're getting ahead of ourselves. So,
real quick.
Yeah.
I don't know if anybody noticed this, but one of the things they gave us when I got the rental car is, I don't know if you can see this.
Drive on the left.
Right.
A little reminder.
Yeah. So Enterprise Rental Car gave out these the silicone bracelets as a reminder to drive on the left. Yeah. So apparently that's an issue with with Americans that rent cars over there. Who knew?
I know, right? And just to kind of follow up to Sean in the chat, who's a big Beavis and Butthead fan, he mentioned that they are doing a new series. They're also doing a spinoff with Beavis and Butthead as old men, which we got a little preview of in Do the Universe, but also a spinoff or a new show with them watching like YouTube and TikTok videos and things like that. So should be a lot of fun. Should be very relevant. And again, because of what happens in the story of this movie, it works. So, all right. You ready to talk about the movie itself?
Yes. I already started talking about the movie itself.
So it was a very short movie. It was like an hour and 25 minutes, which again, same as Beavis and Butthead Do America. I think that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's a perfect length, nice and short. You get a bunch of good laughs in there.
That was the expectation. Too long. I didn't want it to be any longer than that.
Yep. So, and it starts off, we get like the Paramount logo, and then we get the MTV Pictures thing, and it's
Music
like
Man.
And I want my MTV. And it's like nostalgia. I'm like, oh, remember MTV? Used to be great.
Yeah.
Sad face.
In 1998.
Mm-hmm. Barely. And then by 98, we were already starting to get towards the far less music videos and far more fucking real world and all that stuff. But
true stories.
Yeah. And it starts off with an animation sequence that has nothing to do with the rest of the movie except for the fact that it's in space. And it's basically a fucking Death Star run. It's essentially Beavis and Butthead in this like cool 3D fucking space animation in a spaceship, but it's with like 2D fucking Beavis and Butthead in the seats.
Right.
In a fucking ship, basically doing the Death Star run. They got fucking like pseudo TIE fighters chasing after them. They got the fucking turret guns shooting at them as they're...
Yeah, pulling back, it looked more like a Borg cube than it did a fucking...
Sure, I mean, obviously you can't make it a fucking Death Star.
Right.
I think
if you're going to rip something off...
somebody.
Yeah, exactly. If you're going to rip something off, go ahead and rip off the fucking Star Trek franchise, because fuck them.
Yeah, and it had nothing to do with the rest of the movie. It was more of a dream sequence than anything else. Is somebody calling you on Monday night?
Yeah.
Is it Kate?
No, it's Kathy.
Okay. Well, she should know better too.
Hang on. Hey, I'm doing the pod. Is everything all right? Okay. All right. Well, we'll talk about it when you get home. All right, love you. Bye.
This is our weekly segment of one of Dave's family members calls him during the podcast. It's like every week. Every week. So anyway, pretty fun 3D sequence that ends with them looking back after an explosion like, oh, that's cool. And they run right into a fucking wall. And then it zooms out to the big Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe fucking logo. Really nice. That was probably where a majority of their fucking budget went, was for that fucking opening sequence.
Yeah, let's animate this sequence.
Mm-hmm. And then we start off with Butthead basically narrating, going, "Oh, hello."
Right.
You're probably wondering what we've been up to since we last saw you or
I
whatever.
I'll be honest with you, I was not expecting that perspective of it.
Uh,
I was really expecting him just to be sitting there in front of the TV.
yeah, just because kind of that was well, Beavis, yeah,
It's
yeah,
cool.
because Do America started with a dream sequence also, and then the movie kicked in with them on the couch as Beavis was fucking shaking Butthead to wake up, but now it's just them talking to the camera like, "Oh, hello there," and then we get a flashback to the 1998 science fair. So we're now basically given a more exact time frame of when the first Beavis and Butthead took place. 98. They're at the science fair at school, and of course, 98.
94.
And Butthead's kicking Beavis in the balls. They have this dialogue with the hippie teacher about like there's a science fair because he's like, is this your science fair project? And they're like, what science fair?
What science fair?
Which is classic
Trans-
Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
You know, just
Trans-
it's like
how many times can he do it till he passes out?
right. And Beavis and Butthead, as always, just completely oblivious to their surroundings and what's going on, and just purely focused on them and their immediate thing that they're doing.
Until Butthead sees the kick machine.
The Power Kick 3000.
Right. Oh wait, hang on. By the way, I'm going to look at the camera over here. Spoilers.
Oh yeah, spoiler.
Yeah, we're going to ruin the entire thing. Spoiler alert. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert.
Spoilers. You've been warned.
Yes. Anyway.
So the Power Kick 3000 is Butthead's new way of kicking Beavis in the balls.
Yes. And Beavis is like, "You're not going to kick me in the balls again." And Butthead's like, No, I am not. He's like, that's good. That's the best news I've heard all day.
Yeah, as he's fucking cranking this thing and it's winding back. And
what's this thing?
And he fucking lets go. And the best part was that he lets go. It's whoop, boom, kicks him in the balls, knocks him across the gym, and you hear the high pitched scream there.
Glass is breaking. Fucking.
There
for what this lacked in, I don't know. I mean, let's face it, it was Beavis and Butthead, right?
Mm-hmm.
But.
They added just enough new stuff like this to make it funny and get it.
I guess what I'm trying to say is there was only a handful of times where I really caught myself really laughing out loud, like because some of the stuff was just like
typical Beavis and Butthead, but there were a few times where I laughed out loud. It was some of the dialogue. I thought was really good,
especially with the fucking smart Beavis and smart Butthead.
Oh, they were the best.
I thought that was some of the most clever shit.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there.
Yep. And basically, this whole sequence causes them to burn down the gym with all the science fair experiments still in it. They, Beavis gets knocked across the gym, slams into a bunch of the fucking science fair projects, fire, and of course, and you notice too, because I'm sure you remember, Dave, but I don't know how much our listeners know that Beavis and Butthead got a lot of shit back in the 90s because of the fire thing. Because, Beavis was so obsessed with fire that apparently some fucking kid somewhere in the Midwest, like, set fire to his family's house or some shit. And then all of a sudden, this is the worst thing in the world for America. This character is obsessed with fire. And, like, Beavis couldn't say fire on the fucking show for years after that. So
I vaguely remember that.
Oh yeah, no, it was a big fucking thing.
Fire,
because they even joked about it in later seasons of the show where Beavis was about to say fire and Butthead had to like cut him off and be like, Beavis, kind of like a hint, wink, wink.
Yeah.
But now that apparently it's not a big fucking deal anymore, like Mike Judge is just like splattering the fire comments all over the place.
Yeah, because there's way worse shit now.
Yeah,
that is going on in the world. Fire is the least of it.
Yeah, if they were obsessed with guns, that'd be another thing. But
fire.
And so you brought up the courtroom scene. First of all, we get some really good cameos in this courtroom scene as they're fucking basically on trial. That kid never actually saw Beavis and Butthead. The mother. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. And you know what? I believe it. I believe it. But again, this was back in the 90s when, you know, the conservative types had control over the media. Like, and if it was something they didn't like, then they could easily boycott it and, you know, get the shit pulled off the air or make people have to do changes and all this stuff. So, you know, there was a lot of influence on TV by the more conservative crowd in the United States at the time. So, but anyway,
how hot is it in the studio right now?
it's getting there. It's getting there. Yeah,
I feel
like unbuttoning my shirt.
Yeah, I feel like you're like you're going to be like completely undressed here, and like I'm like I'll look down at the chat, I'll look over at the notes, I look over like now more of Jason's t-shirt is showing. I'm like, wait a minute, what's happening right now? Oh, that's right, it's 82 degrees outside, and he's in the studio with no AC.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, I sit next to I actually have the laptop blocking the glorious air conditioning that's coming out of my vent right here.
Nice.
So
anyway, so they're on trial for burning down the school, and you get a couple of glimpses over on the side of the courtroom of like the gym teacher, the principal, Stuart. Behind them, you get a quick glimpse of Daria. So yeah, we actually get to see some of these classic Beavis and Butthead characters.
All right.
You know, and they're all like cheering on the trial, right? There, because you know they want Beavis and Butthead to get locked up or whatever.
Mm-hmm. They finally get theirs. The minors, they're minors in fucking school, and they're like, give them a chair, yeah.
Yeah, and then of course we get the scene that you're talking about with the judge who, you know, sees a problem with the system and not the kids,
right?
And
well, he saw this episode of Touched by an Angel,
right? The first Touched by an Angel fucking reference in this movie. It's like, where did that come from? Yeah. So it's, I mean, I barely remember Touched by an Angel. Like, I never saw any episodes of the show. I barely remember like it being on TV. So I don't know where the fuck this whole reference came from.
Oh, it was, dude, it was prime time must see TV. Touched by an Angel.
Oh, again, I remember it. I remember the fact that it was on.
But as we say it out loud, all I can think of is the what is it? Sarah McLachlan, the fucking
Arms of the Angel.
In the arms of an angel.
Then I started thinking about like starving kids and dying puppies and
or in the shelter when the fucking ASPCA was fucking dragging the animals out to fucking exploit them for their fucking their commercials.
Let's not go there, please.
Don't support that organization. They're a bunch of fuck faces. Anyway.
So the judge rewards them.
Hello.
You know, they're found guilty and the judge what? Okay. He rewards them because it's the problem of the system, not the boys, and gives them space camp, because the whole thing was whoever won the science fair competition at the school got to go to the space camp for 8 weeks. But instead, because
in some fucking random town in Texas, that would be
Highland, Texas.
It's like, I just I think when did we? It was a show recently. We talked a little bit about space camp. I forget when it was. It was one of our recent episodes. We were talking about space camp.
I don't know.
And I was like obsessed with going to space camp, because it would have been like. Because I was obsessed with the fucking space shuttle and going to space and everything else. It's like some fucking random school getting the opportunity to fucking go to space camp after a fucking science fair. It would have been like the biggest thing fucking ever.
Mm-hmm.
Like, not in the hands of the fucking judge, because all the records were lost in the fucking
right. There it is.
I have a random space shuttle on my desk.
Yep. And so they get there. And of course, as soon as they get there, they walk by the sign, the Johnson Space Center. And it was such an easy joke And I saw it coming, and I still laughed out loud as soon as I saw Johnson Space Center. I'm like, oh god,
right there on the screen, Johnson Space Center.
And then of course as they walk by, they like, oh, it says Johnson. And it got me. Even though I saw it coming, it was such a simple joke, but
from a mile away, and but it worked.
And then
worked.
Yeah, we're introduced to Serena, the captain of the shuttle Endeavour.
Right.
I gotta say, I fucking loved her character in this movie because she starts off as this just like hopeful astronaut,
right?
Who doesn't really care much for her lieutenant, constantly talking over him, talking down to him,
right?
But she starts off the movie so hopeful. It's like, oh, these two can come with us to space and all that. And then as soon as she's, experienced all that there is of Beavis and Butthead, she immediately turns into this fucking cynical, fucking foul mouth, just fucking angry.
Well, I mean,
person.
When she's finally like ready, like, okay, I'm going to fucking these dick bags. That's what you called them, right? These fucking dick bags.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've had enough of these dick bags or something like that.
And it's, before we even get to that point, with the fucking lighting up the fucking telescope, I'm just gonna go ahead and look in here.
Yeah. Well,
you got two eyes. Oh yeah, you're right.
Well, of course, and even before that, we have the part where they're watching the docking practice, right? With the tube going into the hole. Obviously, fucking easy jokes there. And oh yeah. That whole sequence where they're sitting there and they're just doing it over and over. And then of course all the astronauts are like, oh, they're brilliant.
Yeah. Wow.
Then Beavis is like, Butthead, watch this, and he takes the fucking arm and
there's sparks flying. Yeah. Like, oh look. Nobody thought of doing that. Like, oh my god, is this really where this movie's going? As I look at because I'm looking at the elapsed timer at that point, I'm like, oh god, this is so early in this movie right now. Like, this is really where we're at. They're insertion. Okay.
And I think it's later on during the training sequence, when they're going through all the astronaut training, and then they show them doing that again, and then he's fucking using the arm to like slap the fucking hole.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so lowbrow, just fucking simple humor, but I laughed so much.
Yeah, this part I thought was really actually fucking pretty good. Like, when.
Oh god, no, that was hilarious. Oh, yes. I wrote this down. I think I wrote down that quote fucking verbatim because you talk about one of the fucking laugh out loud parts. I'm like, holy fuck. Oh yeah. Yeah. Because so the whole premise, the whole premise at this point is the fact that it's the same thing that happened in Do America. They think that this woman wants them to fucking go to space so they'll sleep with her, right? So they're going to do her.
With her. Yes.
Yeah, they're going to do her, right? So that's, again, they're confused. They think this chick wants them to go to space to fuck her. Right. And so every time that she's talking about something, they're thinking like they're going to fuck. Right. So they're walking towards.
Butthead says the dance of the.
Oh yeah, the dance of seduction continues.
That's right.
As they're floating in space towards the black hole. But yeah, so they're walking to the space shuttle, and she's like, "Do you boys know how many, or some of the only people who have ever done this before?" Again, and they're thinking she's talking about fucking. She's like, "Yeah, only 256 men and 49 women." And Beavis is like, "That's a little more than I was hoping, but okay." And then she's like, ranging from ages 28 to 77. And he's like, "Jesus Christ, we get it." And then she said, and then a dog and a monkey.
I was like, all right.
That was probably the funniest part of this whole fucking movie.
Yeah.
Honestly, that little build up to that fucking joke.
Yeah, because it was that moment of like, wow, Beavis is actually understanding what she's saying.
Yeah.
Well, not necessarily in the proper context, but at least like, oh my God, what the fuck? Like, all right, we get it. Like, Somebody has been running a train on you since you're
Right, and then we get a similar joke way later in the movie when the guys, her lieutenant is telling her or telling them he's breaking them
for
out.
24 years.
Yeah, she's done it to me every day for 24 years, and they're like, God damn.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, that was good. It was, again, simple humor, but it fucking works. It fucking worked, and it was, the execution and the timing. The timing with Beavis and Butthead, even though they're fucking idiots, the comedic timing is there, and it's just spot
because
on.
People couldn't possibly think, like, if somebody really thought about it, like, they don't really, like, do you really think that they misunderstand? Nah, they can't be that stupid. Like, they seem like they might be misinterpreting what's going on here. Nah, they can't. Nah.
Yeah.
I find it interesting that it took them all the way till the fucking vomit comment to actually throw up.
Oh, yeah. And that was pretty funny, too, when they're in that and he pukes and it like sends him into a spiral motion.
Which, I mean...
It makes sense.
Yeah, it's physics, right?
Yeah, I would love to see somebody, do that in practice, get into the vomit comment as you're going in.
I'm trying to think of how much time and wait list you have.
Yeah, it's only a few seconds, right?
Yeah, it's not very long. Oh, excuse me. Oh my God.
You're right
I'm still fucking I'm so out of practice. Like, I'm still jet lagged. And it's been 3 days. Like, I'm still it's like midnight.
You went to another country multiple time zones away, so
yeah, it's annoying.
Sense. Yep.
You used to be good at this, Jason.
Yeah, I know. And then we get to the point where the telescope that you were talking about, and of course it started off where she's like, "Don't touch anything in here," right. And they're immediately like, "Yeah," and the fucking doors are opening, the telescope's banging against the fucking doors.
The Earth sucks.
Yeah,
let's just play with all this stuff. And big things that say "do not touch." There's like tape on stuff that he just takes off and throws away.
Yeah, and then of course, so they burn their fucking eyes in the telescope, which is.
Like, I'm gonna point this at the sun and take a look in here. Like, the ray is like shooting out of the fucking thing. Like, I just gotta go ahead. Like, ah!
Yeah. And of course, they do it to both eyes. Because...
Yeah, try with your other eye. You've got two of them. It's like, oh yeah, you're right. I know.
And then, of course, it shows that exterior shot like of the two astronauts, and then you hear Butthead in the distance. And then a couple seconds later.
and then let's all right. Here's your time to shine. It's docking time, and they're both like,
yeah, they can't see shit. And of course, my favorite part of this whole sequence was it starts off with that other guy in the fucking space station giving
the Russian mirror,
and then after they fucking like shit can the whole thing and crash into it, you see his corpse floating in space like. So basically, they killed that other fucking guy.
Oh yeah. And it's like, oh well, the good news is our vision's back.
Yeah.
Looks like you guys were in a wreck.
Yeah. And this is when Serena like fucking just turns and she realizes how big of fucking idiots these guys are and becomes a completely different character at this point.
Takes her robot arm and fucking
Yeah, well, and of course, too, before that, she's telling them to watch her out the window, but she's got to change first. So they, again, misinterpret, thinking that she means, like, let's go outside and watch her from the window.
Fucking bracelet. Right?
Yeah.
After the emotional speech.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, they're at the window, and the looks on their faces at the fucking window is, again, priceless.
Here we are.
Yeah.
With the bracelet, like...
Yeah, and that's when she's like, "Are you shitting me? I've had enough of these dickheads." And boom,
bam, with the kicking motion of the Kickmaster 3000, like swing, wham. Oh,
yep.
Speaking of,
yeah, and this is when she.
Here.
What are you doing?
I hit my light. Hit the overhead light. With my hand. So then I'm gonna go ahead and stop that.
That's great, Dave. And so yeah, after she like fucking blows off and leaves them, then they're floating in space, and you get the Butthead quote The elaborate dance of seduction continues.
Those little quips are fucking just are great.
Yeah.
Like I really loved it's like the throwaway lines that they have for Beavis and Butthead both, or like those little
Yeah.
sidebar throwaway lines are probably the best ones in the whole fucking movie.
Right, and I think Mike Judge's just writing overall has just gotten better and better, at least for these characters, because it's, you know, he could have just regurgitated some of the same old bullshit, which he did a little bit, but
Yeah.
it was this one was clever enough to be refreshing.
Well, I mean, let's think about like what has Mike Judge done since, you know,
He's done
Beavis
a couple
Butthead to
movies
America.
here and there. I mean,
he's
Office
done
Space and
that I don't
Extract movie and
I don't know, like King of the Hill. Like how many fucking seasons of King of the Hill has he done? I mean, so he has he's increased his fucking his comedic ability to a point where he's probably always had some like, oh, you know, this would be perfect if Beavis had said this or Butthead had said this. You know, it's like these are great Beavis and Butthead things to store away for later in a little notebook.
Yeah.
And this is probably when he decided to bring that shit out.
Yep. And they go through the black hole and they land in Galveston, Texas in 2022, in current modern times.
Right.
Which that's the whole premise of this whole fucking movie now, is the fact that
after they slip into a black hole.
Yeah. Science. It's
right.
Don't worry about it.
Right.
I think it's explained as an Einstein
right.
something wormhole. Anyway.
But still, the amount of force that the kick would have had to have taken for them to reach the black. You know what? Never mind.
Yeah,
let's just move on.
Suspension of disbelief.
Right. Star Wars physics. Got it.
Exactly.
We're just going to go with it.
And they land in Galveston, and of course we get a great 69 joke thrown in here because
no, not that number.
Yeah, because it's a little misdirection, right? They're trying to get us to focus on the 2022 and the fact that they're in the future, but Butthead's like, no, 69.
Yeah, 69th annual.
And again, I got a chuckle out of it. It was a nice little misdirecting joke, and it was like, all right, that was good. And then we're introduced, because you brought this up before, we're introduced to Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead.
Right.
Fucking great characters. Really, really good characters that I did not see coming. Really, really enjoyed every time they were on the screen, because they had, like you said, these just little quips, these little quick lines of dialogue that if you're not paying attention, you might miss, but it's so fucking clever. And they're fun characters, and they're a great addition to this movie.
So I think really this is where let's add the Rick and Morty element.
Yeah.
Like it's because what I like, to me, it was like, okay, we're gonna have this like little Rick and Morty element to have like this other, other reality of Beavis and Butthead are like helping, like, okay, hey, you guys have to do this, to affect this Back to the Future outcome, right? Meanwhile, like at the very, very end, if we go all the way into the spoilers, then you have all of these Beavis and Butthead analogs in the one room when the Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead are
it's basically
honored.
it's the celebration sequence. They might as well have just come out to
well, that, or it's the well, I'd make a Rick and Morty reference here, but you wouldn't get it. So
correct.
You know what? Never mind.
But yeah. And these characters are fucking great. Absolutely loved the concept, and every time they were on screen they were saying like very quick funny lines. Like I loved this first meeting when they were trying to explain to them who they were and where they came from, and it's like, well, did you see the new animated Spider-Man movie, because it was about like multiverses? And like no. Like, oh, that would have been a lot easier to explain if you had.
Yeah, and I like when they say something funny. It was like, oh yes, jocularity, very, very jocularity.
Yeah,
much jocularity, much humor.
And of course, they're like, the whole thing is you guys have to go through this fucking portal to like fix the whole space-time continuum.
Right.
And at first it's like, it's at the top of your highest point on the planet.
Right.
The top of Mount Everest. and you have to be there in 2 days.
Right.
And then the next time they see it, they're like, okay, we realize now that was not a good idea.
And then like the third time that they show up when they're like, look, we are smart Beavis and smart Butthead, but we're still Beavis and Butthead. So
Right.
we're not the smartest, beings.
Exactly. And of course, then they realize that they're still just trying to get to Serena. Again, they're alternate universe, Beavis and Butthead aside, they're just like, yeah, okay, whatever. We still want to score with Serena. They see her fucking billboard because now she's the governor of Texas and she's running for re-election.
Right.
And they go to the fucking.
God, she left this big sign for us, like obviously, so we would find her.
Yeah, and of course they walk up and they. They're trying to like, where is she? And they're like, oh, do you want to volunteer? And Butthead's got I want to volunteer my wiener.
Right. That he just took in stride. Like, yeah. Oh, let's just take your picture.
Yeah.
Click. Like, oh my God.
Oh, and then we get another line again. It's a little game she's playing. She wants us to chase her.
Yeah. Again, this is Butthead. And notice, like, Beavis is the romantic, right?
Right. Yeah.
Throughout this whole thing,
he has a little arc in this too.
Right. Beavis is the romantic, where Butthead is he wants the pimpin' lifestyle, right?
Yep.
Even when they're in the bus, head back
those
to
dream
Wyland.
sequences. Yeah.
Right.
It's really telling what they want.
Like he's with her riding Butthead as a unicorn.
Yeah.
Because
and
reasons.
She's in like a hot like fucking metal bikini, like slicing dudes' heads off, and
just because again reasons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then of course Butthead's just a pimp. It's like, oh yeah, I heard you did this Serena girl. It's like, oh,
yeah, and it didn't hurt. He's like, yeah, like I knew it wouldn't. Like, oh my God. I'm a deer.
Yeah. And of course, this is where they come across the iPhone for the first time.
Right.
There's a family there. They're trying to get them to take their picture, blah, blah, blah. They end up in possession of a fucking iPhone that belongs to somebody else.
Right.
Because again, they're displaced from the past. Now they have this technology in their hands. Somebody shows them how to use it, like the Apple Pay. And now we get basically like the Dumb and Dumber sequence when they find the briefcase full of money.
Right.
But in Beavis
but
and
it's
Butthead's,
all with nachos.
Yeah, like everything's nachos.
Except
they're making it rain with fucking nachos. While the song
club.
Make It Rain is going.
Like, and everyone's like, oh my God. Like how? There was a point where I was like, all right, we've had too much nachos. Now we've reached nacho saturation here.
Yeah, I think it probably happened when they were in the tub of nacho sauce. I think
the tub of nacho sauce. You think that's where it happened?
So unsanitary.
It wasn't in the strip club where
where they're making it rain nachos on all the strippers,
or in the rap video when they're like hanging up, like they're hanging over the camera, like with the nachos, like fucking.
Yeah.
Or they go into the fucking jewelry store and buy the fucking the
the big chalice.
Yeah, the bejeweled bowl and put nachos in it.
Yeah, and then just fucking throw it away when they're done.
Yeah. Like, whoop. So they can do what? So they can buy more nachos. Mm-hmm. And who are these rich motherfuckers who had like their Apple Pay set up where they could just fucking
they must have had it like put to their best credit card. The credit card with the highest
they had it to their Apple Card, like here's a $20,000 limit of nachos. Sir, this is Janice from American Express calling. Yeah, we've noticed that you're buying a lot of nachos and you're lactose intolerant. So is this a good time?
Anyway. And then we get to the part where Beavis he thinks he's talking to Serena, but he's talking to Siri. And it's
I think that the Siri joke came first, and then the Serena name came after that.
Oh, probably. Yeah.
I honestly think it had to have happened.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Because it's like what would kids from '98 be fascinated by in 2022? Yeah, probably fucking iPhones. The fact that you can just ask this phone anything and it'll give you answers. It'll talk to you, and then they probably work backwards from there. Like, easy. It's like it wrote itself.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yep. And then we flash back to the so now that Beavis and Butthead are in 2022, both the government somehow know that they're there, as does fucking Serena, and they're both after them.
Right.
Serena goes to that.
Serena is like, if I'm going to be accused of murder, then I'm going to fucking kill somebody.
Oh yeah, no, yeah,
And
she's
it's
got
like,
a fucking gun. She's ready to
nice.
like actually off them both at this point.
Like, all right, I'm going to have this. I'm the governor of Texas. I'm going to make sure that I'm fulfilling a stereotype immediately.
Yep. And again, such departure from how she started in the movie. Just again, this astronaut's like, oh, the universe is glorious, and oh, look at Mother Earth and all this stuff. And now it's like, I'm gonna kill these two fucking kids.
Kill these motherfuckers. Kill them dead.
And we get another great joke. Really just dick and fart jokes where they go to the volunteer place where they took the picture of Beavis and Butthead, and he's like, yeah, and they kept laughing every time when I introduced myself, and she's like, well, what's your name? Richard Whack.
Richard Whack. Dick Whack. Well, I go by Richard.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Dave has 3 testicles and Jason only has 1.
But why?
Apparently that was the announcement.
What announcement?
I don't know. I'm reading the chat.
Oh, all right. Oh, it's Stranger Things Has Happened. The new YouTube show / podcast by one of our friends.
Well, that's an announcement to be announced
two
later.
Of our friends.
Oh, but that's later apparently.
Yeah.
Apparently, I have show notes for that.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Call it a preview.
Right.
I'm trying to read my notes. I can't read my own fucking handwriting, but they got to the college. Oh, it was another quip because they got to the college and then fucking Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead corner them again.
This is when they tell them to realize their fucking mistake about the fucking Mount Everest.
And they're like, we put it behind that building, and it's the humanities building. That's what it was. Yeah, because now no one cares about the humanities. And it's like, yes, it's a satirical comment on the times. And
yes.
Yeah, again, this is Smart Beavis and Butthead having these little quips, which is fucking hilarious if you think about what they're saying.
Much jocularity.
Yep. And then, of course, they find their way into a gender studies class, which I had a feeling something like this was going to play into this movie with them going into the fucking future and seeing all this. And you get this whole fucking the white privilege conversation. And it's just a fun little dig at that whole fucking way of thinking. And of course, Beavis and Butthead took it the completely wrong way, and they're like, oh, we have white privilege.
We have white privilege.
Don't worry, I just assume I can take whatever I want.
Yeah, they're like, really? Like, does this change how you're going to act? Like, yes it is. Don't worry, we have white privilege. We just found out.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a fun little dig at the times.
Yeah, I think I don't know where I wrote it down, but it was like gender studies like 103 or something.
Yeah.
Something. Oh my god. Why?
And so at some point they get caught by the police. Oh yeah, because they're exercising their white privilege. They get in a fucking cop car. What are we gonna do next? Well, let's fucking steal that cop car, because we don't have to worry about the police.
Yeah, that's a police car.
Yep. And they crash that. They get caught by the police, and then they get sent to jail. And then we get this whole jail sequence.
Which their driving improves vastly throughout the movie, right? You figure when they get into the green car, they're the fact that they're able to drive as well as they are to get home
backwards for a while.
Backwards.
Yeah.
The fastest driving car backwards since the Matrix movies.
Right. But in jail, we're introduced to Cornholio for the first time in the movie, as I think one of the prisoners gives him fucking speed pills or something.
Well, yeah, it gives him like a bunch of meth or some shit like that.
Yeah,
like
it was
like a giant bag of it. Not like hey, here's a baggie that I'm trying to hide from the rest of the people in county. It is an entire like fucking. I don't even have an analog to fucking hold up.
It is massive. Twice the size of your head.
Taking handfuls of it, like to the point where the guy's like, you might want to check on that kid. They're like, shut up, you.
Yeah. Sean in the chat mentioned that Butthead telling the cops, I think your problem is you're just uneducated.
Yeah.
Fucking floored him. Oh, good stuff. So yeah, we're introduced to Cornholio after he does a bunch of drugs in prison. And it's typical Cornholio talking about TP for his bunghole, which eventually starts a whole prison riot because they're like, yeah, we don't have enough TP.
We don't have enough TP. Like this kid, that it's funny because they're sitting there like, it's one of those, you can't possibly be that insane. Like, there's got to be a reason for this.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's talking about toilet paper. You know what? Yeah. Yeah, he's right. Motherfuckers. Boom. Fuck it. We're throwing down.
Yep. And it basically starts a big prison riot. And we get our second Touched by an Angel reference when the fucking warden's like,
right.
Oh,
have you ever seen Touched by an Angel?
Yeah.
No.
And yeah, long story short, he ends up letting them go, gives all the toilet paper to the fucking prison. You see these
tractor
fucking
trailers full of them.
3 trucks pull up full of it. They let them go, send them off to their house in Highland.
Destroy the records too. Destroy the records.
Oh yeah.
Because you can do that.
Right, and that's the great part.
In 2022, like there's no computers, no computerized records or anything. He's just gonna like.
Well, and the best too is when both the two entities come in, the government and then the governor of Texas roll in. He's like, nope, never heard of him.
And then she comes in. She's like, oh, I'm going to surprise pardon 2 young people.
Yep.
And he's like, well, I never saw those people, but who are you going to surprise pardon? And it ends up with these 2 fucking gigantic guys in the back.
Yeah. Oh.
It was like that bit was clever. I'll give it to him. That bit was clever.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was funny. Then Beavis and Butthead make it back to their house, which in 2022, completely different. It's on the market.
Right.
And
it had been empty for so long.
Yeah, and you start getting a little bit of background about Beavis' mom, because now come to find out that was Beavis' house.
Right.
That they're always in the show. And it belonged to his mother, Shirley Beavis, that this realtor talks about. But you know, you never really hear a whole lot because they're like playing with a fucking garbage disposal. They're like, oh, cool. And they're like grinding shit up in the garbage disposal.
Yeah. Like apparently she got a huge settlement.
Yeah,
and then
because they thought they died.
Right.
Yeah.
And she blew that settlement on something.
Mm-hmm.
And then like something else crazy happened after that.
Yeah.
But you don't hear it.
Yeah, because it's all muffled because they're fucking with the garbage disposal.
Ah! Ow.
Yeah, Beavis cuts his fucking hand up.
It was cool.
We have like the big fight breakup scene between Beavis and Butthead because they blame each other for what's going on, and they get into like an actual fist fight.
Why Serena wasn't there? Why they're not scoring?
Mm-hmm.
All that.
And then we get this great meta scene where they're both walking away their own different ways, and you hear Michael Bolton's "How am I supposed to live without you?"
Yeah.
And you know, all I can think of is Michael Bolton from Office Space, the other Mike Judge fucking movie that we talked about, and I'm just like, that had to be a deliberate fucking choice to use that fucking song.
Make sure we get a Michael Bolton song in there.
Yeah.
Like, all right, let's get teared up for getting. All right, here's 2 Beavis and Butthead characters. Apparently, Wyland, Texas is filled with a bunch of fucking morons.
Yeah.
Because everyone they encounter was doing the same fucking thing. Excuse me.
Just for reference too, the only other well-known actor who's lent their voice for this that I recognized was Gary Cole, aka Lumberg from Office Space. He was the lieutenant governor guy, and the lieutenant astronaut. So, you know, the guy who played Lumberg in Office Space lent a voice to this. So.
Oh, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. So
I didn't even pick up on that. That's fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's no way that wasn't intentional. And Kristen mentioned, like, yeah, maybe that was their apology to Michael Bolton. But again, we talked about this when we talked about Office Space. Michael Bolton actually had a pretty good sense of humor about that whole bit in Office Space. Yeah. So yeah, I don't think he was ever like upset or bitter about it.
Tell me how am I supposed to live without you?
Yeah. And it was great. Great sequence. Beavis and Butthead both get kidnapped by the government and the fucking governor. They
Right.
come together, realize that they both wanted them dead. So it's like, hey, this is easy. And that's when the lieutenant tries to break them out.
Lumberg. Now
yeah.
forever named as Lumberg.
Yep. And then you get the quote where he's like, well, what she did to you in 98, she's done to me for every day for 24 years. And also, you had a good sequence too, where they were, oh shit. Sean mentioned in the chat that Milton from Office Space did the voice of the guy who was trying to give Butthead a tattoo in prison. He wanted a tattoo of a butt on his forehead.
Right. And let's not get too far away from that, because another classic line is that the guy was like, you sure you want to do this? You don't want dice or something?
Yeah.
And then Butthead's like, this is going to be on my face permanently.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, God,
oh God, it's just so fucking. Anyway,
yeah.
I don't even know where I was going with that, but yeah.
Yeah. While they were captured too, you had a good sequence where they were like, oh, he said this and he said dick, and then he said 8 ass.
I didn't say 8 ass.
She said it again.
You remember that? Yeah, that was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Then we get another flash from the smart Beavis and Butthead. They show us old Beavis and Butthead, which
no, she didn't. Go ahead.
We get a flash of old Beavis and Butthead, which apparently this is going to be part of one of these new shows coming up on Paramount Plus. But you see them as old guys, or where they would have been in 2022 had they not gone through the time portal. Which it seemed like they were a bit too old in that, but whatever. Drugs are bad, kids.
Yeah, drugs are bad. Shouldn't do drugs.
And yeah, everything. This is kind of where my notes ended. I know we have another big sequence at their house where the governor and the government people are trying to stop them from going through the portal, and Smart Beavis and Butthead are there, and they eventually just push the fucking lieutenant governor guy through.
Right.
And
then the portal closes, and they're like, oh, I guess we could have thrown anything in there.
Yeah, we could have just thrown a brick through there.
Like, oh.
Yeah. And then, of course, Beavis has his he tries to have his moment with Serena where he's like trying to tell her he loves her and all that. Right. But smart Beavis fucking cock blocks him and goes right in for the kill. And
yeah, because as Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead have told us earlier, is that none in all of the alternate universes, all the Rick and Morty style alternate universes of all the fucking Beavis and Buttheads that exist, none of them have scored.
Right.
None of them.
Yep.
So this is Smart Beavis now is going to be the singularity.
Yeah.
By moving in on Serena to score.
Yeah.
And poor Beavis is left out. He's fucking swinging in the wind.
Yep.
He's like, I have something to offer.
Yeah, and it seemed like Serena was about to, actually go through with doing Beavis and Butthead when Smart Beavis swooped in and swept her off her feet, so to speak, and went away with her, and Beavis and Butthead are left alone. And that's when we get caught back up, the bookend moment with Butthead explaining to the audience like what's going on, and that's where it ended.
All right, the feds gave them their house back, so they would, and a new TV.
Yeah, a new flat screen TV.
Right.
And yeah, they got their house back, and it seems perfect that that's where the new show is going to pick up. It's now going to be them in 2022.
Yeah, because they could be the same age.
Exactly.
And do whatever. So, yeah, I guess it makes sense from that standpoint, like if you're going to do it.
Yeah.
Now, the real question is, I have not seen these, and I believe that they would be.
Oh, God.
Because what's funny, like in this whole movie, that Beavis and Butthead are looked at as aliens.
Yeah.
Because every other Yeah, like the thermal imaging of fucking Beavis and Butthead, they look like fucking aliens because everyone else is like human shaped.
Yeah.
They're the ones with the fucking weird heads. Um, so I can imagine that the fucking Jesus Christ,
Oh,
what does
dear
that
God.
say?
What does what say?
Lunar Girl, I got roped into watching. Oh, I Joker voice, dude. I swear, I looked down. I thought that said that you got raped.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? And I'm like, okay, all right. The bifocals, like sometimes you really gotta. I just gotta look down.
Dave,
And
I'm sending you a message over Facebook.
Why Facebook?
Because that's what I can copy and paste from my fucking computer because I had a browser open.
You're an asshat.
Or just Google fucking Beavis and Butthead pops, but they're something. And they're expensive.
Really?
Yeah, this fucking pair on eBay that I'm looking at right now, $800.
$800
Mm-hmm.
for like, are they recently released?
I have no idea.
Like, well,
Like I just looked this up as soon as somebody said it in the chat.
Oh my God, $800?
Yeah, I just sent you the link. You can see the retail price of them was $11.
Well, I mean, obviously.
Yeah, whenever this person bought them. But they're interesting looking.
I gotta go into Facebook and log into Facebook. Dude,
Why aren't you just always logged in?
Because fuck Facebook.
Don't you have Facebook stock?
Yeah.
Aren't you the one who was berating me every time I would say fuck Facebook?
No.
And you'd be like, no, don't say that. I got stock.
Where did you send it to me?
Facebook
on Messenger?
Messenger.
Dude, I did not get anything on Facebook Messenger from you.
That is why you failed.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Never mind. Oh, they're not as bad as I thought they would be. Whoa.
No, they're very interesting looking.
The Butthead one is a thing.
Yeah.
Pops with mouths are weird.
Yeah.
They're just weird because usually pops don't have mouths.
Right.
But $800, that's too much.
Yeah, yeah. It must have been just like a one-time limited print run thing, and it's just super hard to fucking find.
And it doesn't even have like the actual band name on the shirts. It says Death Rock, and then the other one says Skull or something.
Bronco Fett, I will not answer your question right now out of respect for Dave and his recent trip to the motherland, but don't worry, my feelings have not changed.
Which I'm surprised because I'm not there to stab him.
But he'll remember.
I will remember.
Indeed.
So yeah, let's do final thoughts on this thing.
Okay, so real quick before we do that, we get the big celebration scene after Beavis.
It's a celebration, bitches.
with all of the multiverse versions of Beavis and Butthead. And if you watch, there's a scene where it like focuses in on a couple of Beavis and Buttheads and it zooms out to the whole fucking crowd.
Right.
Like if you slow-mo that, you can see some really cool Easter eggs in there. Like you can see an early sketch version of Beavis and Butthead in there. Yeah. You see one where Butthead's like the fucking Terminator and Beavis is like John Connor. A couple of really cool like pairings and different like versions of Beavis and Butthead. So if you ever want to, pause on that scene as it's like zooming out and you can see all these different versions of Beavis and Butthead. It's pretty funny. So yes, final thoughts. I'm kind of with the critics on this one. I was pleasantly surprised. I went into this, good God. I went into this with very low expectations and was pleasantly surprised. Even though a lot of the jokes were typical Beavis and Butthead dick and fart jokes, they landed. They landed and they were a breath of fresh air compared to, current movies and TV, and it was nice to re-experience that. A lot of that could just be the nostalgia factor. Again, we grew up on these guys. This was our, teenage upbringing, but I think there was enough new stuff with Smart Beavis and Smart Butthead, a lot of good dialogue, a lot of funny lines, and it worked. And both times that I've watched it twice now, I watched it the first night just to sit and view it, then I watched it the second time to take notes, laughed out loud on certain scenes both viewings, and it was super entertaining, and I think they fucking nailed it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Hang on. Oh god, there it is.
Right.
There. Oof, damn it. Um. So I was entertained. Um. I'm glad I didn't have to pay for it.
Right.
Because really what it came down to is it was another episode of Beavis and Butthead. And I had some laugh out loud moments, but I wasn't like, I don't know, I
You seem underwhelmed
I
overall.
not that I'm underwhelmed. I think for a guy that does a Jennifer Lopez, an impression of Cart and a Cartman impression of Cartman doing Jennifer Lopez,
Yes.
right? For that person, and also does a Hank Hill, like I don't know, I'm underwhelmed by the Beavis and Butthead experience at this point. Like if they're using like this as like a tee up for more stuff
Mm.
for Beavis and Butthead, I'm not interested.
Hmm.
I'm not interested in more Beavis and Butthead stuff. I'm just
Okay.
not. Like the nostalgia factor just isn't necessarily. It's not there for me. It's not that I don't enjoy Beavis and Butthead. I mean, obviously, like look at our background.
Right.
Like it has its place in our upbringing, and that nostalgia is definitely there. But like by putting something new out right now for Beavis and Butthead is kind of it's kind of implying that like, hey, you were into the old stuff, so now come and pick up the new stuff. You know what I mean?
I mean, aren't they doing that with so much shit from our childhoods, though?
They are, and how much of that stuff am I personally picking up from that? That
Well,
isn't Star Wars related.
yeah, none really.
Not a whole
Like
lot.
Masters of the Universe didn't hold up for us.
No,
I know
and
they're
even like some of the Transformers reboot stuff hasn't.
yeah.
It's like for me personally, I just like I think maybe the target zone for me is just a little bit too. It's just a little bit off. Whereas if I had maybe younger kids, maybe I'd be inside that demographic a little bit better. But
Maybe.
because I have older kids and like now I'm more focused on other shit.
Yeah, college boy.
Well, that notwithstanding, right? I mean, I I think rather than spending time sitting watching Beavis and Butthead, I'd rather play a video game, right?
That's
I
fair.
like it's not that I want to do something more highbrow, like do my
Right.
master's fucking work. But if I had time to sit down and watch Beavis and Butthead, I'd rather sit down and fucking play through the rest of Lego Star Wars that
Sure,
I
and
still
but
haven't finished.
yeah, but I mean, you can make that argument with pretty much every piece of entertainment that comes out
Yes.
from here on out.
Yes.
And it's
And the choice that I make is almost always, unless it's Star Wars related, I almost always will my flip flop is going to be my flop switch is going to be towards you know taking the opportunity to either play the video game or do something else.
right. And
Then
I'm not saying that that's the wrong decision or anything, but I mean, in the context of this discussion, I mean, does that really take you away from your enjoyment of this movie overall?
it did because I felt honestly for this particular thing, I felt like the entire purpose of it was to try and get me to uh get back into Beavis and Butthead because hey, they're going to like, hey, this is on Paramount Plus, and I think that's part of the. Honestly, I think that's the problem. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I had to sign up for a free week of fucking Paramount Plus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because now we've, the a la carte experience of fucking our television now has gone so fucking far the other way
Yeah.
that now they're fucking nickel and diming us to death. with
Right.
subscriptions.
And this is
And
exactly what people predicted too when the
yeah,
whole streaming war started. It's like everybody's gonna have a fucking streaming
yeah,
service, and then you're gonna end up paying more for all your streaming
yeah.
services than you do for your fucking cable right
And
now.
I hate it. I
Yeah.
fucking hate it. And thankfully we had an option for a fucking free
Yeah.
a free trial so that I could see this without having to actually pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
Because otherwise, you know, nothing out. But I I don't need to fucking be baited into getting into a fucking streaming service.
Right.
I just there's not enough from an entertainment standpoint to bring me into it. Now again, this is just me. I know that there obviously they're not going to pour money into something that they don't think is going to work, but I think it's out there. It's entertaining, and from a story perspective for what they did, they made it funny, and if Mike Judge can keep it fresh enough, and if they're doing like TikTok and stuff like that, if they keep the episodes short, I think it can be entertaining.
Yeah, they're gonna
But
have to.
but the problem, the very nature of like TikTok and Twitter and videos like that is that those videos themselves are short. You know, music
Yeah.
videos at least were a couple minutes long, and even when they broke them up,
Mm-hmm.
you know, they only had Beavis and Butthead only had to do like certain parts of it. You still had like the music video to take up a lot of the the show.
Yeah.
Then you had the story intermingled with that.
Well, and that and the trends move so fast too. You know, because we're in just this like quick moving world where, you know, people are constantly moving from one thing to the next. So they would have to be like South Park, where basically they're producing the show that fucking week and they're commenting on what happened fucking last week.
Yeah, but I don't need Beavis and Butthead to be fucking smart like that. I don't need Beavis and Butthead to be like, I don't expect Beavis and Butthead to fucking turn around and make a comment on something that's happening out in our social environment.
Well,
Like I do with South Park.
I'm just talking more like TikTok and YouTube trending
Well,
stuff.
I mean that's fair. Like Sean's bringing up the point that you know they're still going to be doing music videos. I haven't seen a music video in probably fucking 10 years. I mean, I'm 47 years old. Music videos are not a thing for me anymore in my particular demographic. And again, if we're the problem with focusing on between us two, I can only give you my point of view. And
Sure.
And like for me, while this was entertaining, it's certainly not going to keep me attached to this fucking Paramount Plus thing.
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of how many episodes of Beavis and Butthead come out afterwards, it's not enough. Yeah. It's just not. It was entertaining. It was fun. It was fun to watch. It was an hour and 25 minutes, but I'll be being 100% honest. When I was watching it this afternoon, like I wanted to go outside and work on the Jeep and do other stuff. I mean, I did it for the show. Not because I was being entertained. I found myself sitting through it.
Okay.
So but that again, that's just me. If you wanted, do I think that that Beavis and Butthead, like what the show that they produced, like what the critics are saying is accurate? Yeah. I mean, we're not trying to fucking be some highbrow fucking thing here with Beavis and Butthead. Yeah. You're getting Beavis and fucking Butthead.
Yep.
That's what you're getting.
Yeah.
So they're selling they're selling their wares, and that's what it is.
Yeah, Mike Judge is making no bones about what they're about.
No, and that's perfect. Like if that's what you're going for, then fucking perfect. If you're into watching like NCIS or fucking I don't know what else is on Paramount Plus, fucking Survivor.
Well, I know South Park is on Paramount Plus right now too.
Great.
Like all of South Park and the movies and everything. So
yeah, great. So
well, you're gonna be saying great because we're talking about South Park next month. So
I have plenty of South Park fucking saved on hard copy and on hard drives.
All right, very good. Oh man, I pulled my iPad underneath myself and now it's like
you can get a full month. Wait, you can get a full free. What is this?
bright. All right. Anyway,
is that what you're doing? What are you doing?
I turned on my iPad. I got it close to my face, and I'm seeing like Jesus. It's like really illuminating the bottom of my face.
But you don't have the studio ring light on, do you?
No, I don't. I should have turned it on. Hey, at least I remember to record and go live. So
that's fair. That's very good. That's very good.
You had a note in here about the Clerks 3 trailer.
Yeah, so I had breakfast with Frederick Martin, a Patreon supporter and friend of the show, and he said that the Clerks 3 trailer had come out while I was gone.
Yep.
And so I watched it, and I was curious if you had watched it.
Yep, I have.
And I was curious about your thoughts.
I mean, it seems like something I'd be interested in watching. I've seen every other Kevin Smith movie that has to do with this universe, so right. It's natural that I would watch it. I'm a little. I'm managing my expectations.
Are you gun shy because of what happened with
Masters of the Universe?
Well, no, with
Jay and Silent Bob reboot.
Yeah,
that was very disappointing. I felt very underwhelmed by that movie, and then of course the Masters of the Universe shit left a bad taste in my mouth. So yeah, I'm going into it with reservations, but I'll see it. Then they're actually doing like all kinds of crazy traveling shows where if you buy these tickets, you get to see the movie with Kevin Smith in the audience, and he does a Q&A afterwards. I was thinking about possibly trying to get tickets for that because they're doing one in Philly. But either way, I'll see it for sure when it comes out. But
yeah, I mean, I'll see it too. But it was one of those things where I'm like, oh man, dude, like looking at it.
Real quick, Sean in the chat says it seems a little too meta. Kristen said that exact same thing when she saw the trailer.
Yeah, and I agree. Yeah. I think it's kind of it's too much. I think it might be too much.
Possibly, but we'll see.
It might be fun. I mean, because it's, what's cool. I think what's kind of cool about it is like, hey, it's someplace that we've been. We've stood there. We've stood against the wall.
I've been there multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of a Clerks has that place in our our cultural upbringing. So it's it definitely has its place.
And I mean, to be fair, Kevin he seems to kind of capture sort of the mood of that age group at the time with each of the Clerks movies. Like with the first one, it's, you fucking either late teens, early 20s, like slacker, just kind of, fucking off trying to find some direction. And then like with the second one, it was really like, what the fuck are you going to do with your life? Are you going to settle down? You're going to figure this shit out? You're going to like do something real? And then it seems like this one, he's really like talking about facing death, which I think
this is exactly like what Sean is saying in the chat. I think it's exactly what it is.
Yeah. Because it's, Kevin had his heart attack. For all intents and purposes, Kevin Smith should probably be fucking dead right now.
Yeah.
He got very, very lucky that he's not. And, now he's got to kind of face that reality.
Yeah. And I think he's using Randall in this particular character, in this as, and it could be fun, but I think there's almost going to be too much reach around. Reach backs, reach arounds, fucking reach unders. I just think it's going to be a little bit too much, but we shall see.
Yep.
As it.
Anything else? Before
no, the only other note I had is like we had our little interruption with the James Webb stuff earlier today. So, Sean, believe it or not, most things that they do through any of for your heart and for blockages, they're going to go up through your crotch because there's major arterial areas there to go through. Tomorrow, big day for the James Webb. We're going to see more images. Yes. Hopefully not have so much political rhetoric beforehand. I actually get to I didn't mean to do that. Hear more from the scientists, maybe have a little bit of analysis. That would be awesome. So tune in tomorrow. I think it's 10:30 Eastern. But you could go to NASA or go to YouTube's or NASA's YouTube site, and I think you can hit the reminder thing, and it'll tell you when that shit's going to happen.
Yep. And depending on, what comes out, how much it gets talked to death between now and next Monday, we may talk about it a little bit as part of next week's show. But our main topic next week is going to be A League of Their Own.
Yes. Love
celebrating a 30th anniversary this year, I believe. This month.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Is it really, Jason? Jason higher?
Yes, it's 30th anniversary because it came out in 92.
92.
94.
92.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that. And we got our schedule basically hammered out for the next 2 months. We'll put that out as we see fit.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. It's good to be back.
I've got the reads.
All right.
When you are ready.
Why don't you go ahead and do that?
All right. I'm going to start while Miss Lopez is Madonna and her pointy cones in the 50s.
Madonna alive in the 50s?
Maybe when she was in her 50s?
No,
she wasn't that old.
No.
I mean, she was older. Anyway, we'll go from Madonna and her pointy tits to the Red 5 news. Red 5 network live streams are hot tonight.
So, just for reference, Madonna is currently 63 years old, so she would have been 33 in A League of Their Own.
33?
33.
No.
I'm 37?
That's a great movie. I can't wait to watch that again. Oh, wow. Damn it. I wish I... Red
Focus
5.
Day, focus.
Fuck, dude. Damn it. Like, this fucking light is so bright. I can't wait to get back in the studio.
Yeah.
The Red 5 Network live streams are hot tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern. After the weekend, we'll be reviewing the 2003 movie Master and Commander. Great fucking movie. Great fucking movie. The books that's based on, like, I'm sure they're gonna talk all about it, but I've read it's the book series. It's like 20 something books. Master and Commander, the movie, is based on like 4 of those books, kind of a conglomeration of like those books. The characters are phenomenal. It's a great movie. So tune into that 8 p.m. Eastern after the weekend. After the weekend's the name of the show, not after the weekend, because that would be too late.
Oh, I thought you meant like the band that follows the weekend. The band.
No. It's 8 p.m. Eastern. After the weekend, we'll be reviewing 2003 movie Master and Commander. J-Lo does this so much better than I do. At 9:30 Eastern, Extra Techie begins a new gaming quest, Undertale. Ducktail?
Ooh.
Streaming both his Twitch and YouTube channels. Monday night wraps up with WSTR Media at 10 Eastern. We need military time on this. Like, it's 2200 Eastern with some Han Solo love. Hop into live chats tonight and support our Red 5 family. You'll probably find Luna Girl in a few of them. That's guaranteed. The Red 5 Network now has 39.
I'm 37?
Plus 2.
Yeah.
And a gaming branch. During our vacation, the network picked up 3 new podcasts. Scare After Dark.
They ruined it.
Scare After Dark, hosted by Madame Chantal. The Red 5 Tavern, which is a weekly Dungeons and Dragons sesh on Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern. That's 2,200 people.
Uh-huh.
Sidebar, go check out Lunar Girl. In that, she wears elf ears. And our newest pod, drum roll, please. Pathetic. That was pathetic.
I have my phone in my hand.
Anyway, despite the pathetic drum roll, our newest pod, Stranger Things, has happened, hosted by none other than Cantina family members Don Della Snooch and Lunar Girl.
Hooray!
Cue to celebration music.
I don't have it on the drop.
You suck. God, Jason, why does this keep popping up about the crotch and blockage?
I don't know. I volunteer my wiener.
Browse through bio.link/red5 and bio.link/red5gaming. Check out the daily promos or shoot Lunar Girl a DM on any of our socials. She can suggest something you'll absolutely love that is perfect for you. 37 plus 2.
I'm 37?
All right. The Cantina Family Happenings. The Use and Abuse Pod will be reviewing the 1995 Gen X classic Clueless at 5 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time tomorrow. Hop into the live chat on YouTube and enjoy. That is, what's her nuts? Reese Witherspoon at her hottest.
I'd say so.
Yeah, right before. Well, was this before or after she did Batman?
Batman?
Wasn't she a Batman? No, I'm thinking of somebody else. That's Alicia Silverstone. Never mind. It's something the blonde. It's the blonde thing.
Because all blondes are the same, Dave.
They are.
Okay.
Obviously. Anyway, on Wednesday, ATSW The Escape Pod will be reviewing Thor: Love and Thunder. Love in the Thunderdome. Join Dondell Snooch, Brady Big Lovin', and Dragon Buddy in the live chat at 19:05 Eastern on the YouTubes. Layman's Terms on YouTube has been on a holiday break, but subscribe, ding that bell. Yeah, ding it. Yeah. He said, yeah. Ding it. Yeah, it's cool. And select all to receive notifications of his next release. In fact, the matter is, you should do that with all of these YouTube shows. You can hit the bell thingy and say, "Hey, I want to be notified when these things come on," and it'll happen, and it'll be brilliant. Especially if you're in my family, be like, "Hey, guess what? The show is on." Maybe it'll be a reminder to not call me during the show. The Orange and Fest Show released episode 41, Star Wars episode 9er, The Rise of Skywalker, this past Friday.
A niner in there? Were you calling from a walkie-talkie?
Subscribe to them on Spotify and give it a listen and be notified of upcoming releases. Big Sweet is in his own sweetie world, working on stuff and then scrapping it and then working on other things. Yada, yada, yada. But he did just celebrate a birthday on the 3rd, so happy belated.
Yeah, a lot of birthdays.
Lots of birthdays in July. Man, fucking February was just busy. Glue yourself to his updates at Sweet Studios on Discord and Instagram. It's math, Jason. It's okay.
Yeah.
As mentioned earlier, Dondell Snooch and Luna Girl have started a new podcast.
Hooray!
Cue the celebration music.
I don't have the celebration.
They will be you could have been working on that. Instead of dicking around on your phone, Jason, you could have been fucking getting the drop
Well,
ready.
I got to catch up because now I've got ads for everything that we've talked about during the fucking show. So I've gotten ads for Universal Studios. I've gotten ads for pretty much fucking everything that we've mentioned. NASA ads. It's like, really, dude?
They're listening. Why is your camera shaking so bad?
Because I hit the table.
Oh, that's right, because you have it attached to the other thing and not
It's
on
attached to the
where it's
laptop.
usually put where it's stable. That's
Right.
why we have it set up where it is. Stop. Yeah, are you whacking it? Stop whacking off in my tool shed. As mentioned earlier, Don Stella Snooch and Luna Girl have started a new podcast.
Haven't you said that like 5 times already?
They will be discussing the Netflix series Stranger Things, episode
Yes.
by episode, as neither of them have ever seen it before.
Oh, shit.
So that ought to be interesting. Check out episode 1 of Stranger Things Has Happened on YouTube. Give them a sub, and you will do it. And my space shuttle just fell. I need to fix that right now.
Do it.
Oh, we could do that.
Do it.
Just need a beat behind it. Do it.
Boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants and boots and pants. You can find us at bio.link/Sidebar Cantina, where you will find our links to YouTube, audio, Patreon, our latest Spotify music mixtapes, and all social media platforms, including Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, Discord, and TikTok.
Yeah.
Also in our bio link is our TeePublic merch shop, which I haven't looked at in like fucking, I don't know, 6 months. I suck. We have t-shirts and hoodies in a wide variety of designs, shirts and colors. There are sidebar container face masks, tote bags, phone cases, exclusive stickers and pins, just about anything you can imagine. Please tag us with your merch so Luna Girl can share it on the socials. Reviews.
Ooh.
Please write us a 5-star review on Apple. Don't have an Apple account? Our Facebook page has a review feature too. Just screenshot it before you hit done and DM us a pic on the Instagram or Twitter. Tell us what you love or even hate about the show, especially what you hate, because that would be fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
Hannaford Lopez or Hank or somebody will read your review word for word on our next episode. Hannaford Lopez is on hiatus this week. Plus, Luna Girl will send you swag. That's it.
All right.
I know it's not as interesting when Dave reads it and not
just
Hannaford
plain
Lopez.
old Dave.
Plain old Dave, but
well, I
it's
think we should
remote.
rotate it too. Like
It's a remote episode. It's
Yeah.
not meant to be as exciting. Sorry, kids.
And also, like, I think Miss Lopez needs vacation too. And maybe sometimes Mr. Anderson needs to come and read the read, or Mama. We need to do it for Mama and let Mama read every once in a while.
Oh, do it for Mama.
So it doesn't have to always be about J-Lo.
Give me a carrot.
All right, that's it. No post show this week. It's 8:00. I've been up since 3:30, and I have to go to bed soon.
And I am still on Irish time, so
Yes.
it's like 1 a.m. for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So we do appreciate everybody tuning in. It's good to be
Yes.
back. No vacation or off time in the foreseeable future. So we've got a lot of good topics lined up over the next couple months.
Knocking on wood. Yes.
Yeah. Barring any kind of catastrophe, which could always happen.
Yes, always.
This is 2022.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Tune in to James Webb tomorrow.
Yes. And we will see you next week with a League of Their Own. And until next time, Dave and everybody else, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Now what do I click?